really is you.
You seem hardly to have aged at all.
Really? How incredibly rude. One never discusses a woman's age, Michael. Would have hoped I taught you better.
I'm sorry, I didn't...
You came back. I thought we'd never see you again.
It is wonderful to see you.
Yes, it is, isn't it?
That was a clip from Walt Disney's Mary Poppins Returns, starring Emily Blunt, film critic and host of Pop Life. Richard Crouse joins me now for more on this film and the others that are hitting the theaters this weekend. But, you know, everyone's talking about Mary Poppins, of course.
Well, people are saying, like, why remake it?
Right.
Why remake it? For 54 years, we've had one Mary Poppins, and damn it, that was good enough
Julie
for everybody.
Andrews.
But this is a really lovely version of the story. She doesn't say supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. None of the songs from the original movie appear in this movie, except you'll hear little snippets of them in the score. Right. It's all new music. It's an all new story. And Mary Poppins comes back to visit the kids she looked after in the first movie, except they're all grown up now. Michael and Jane are adults, and they're having some uniquely adult kind of problems. So she comes in to sort of set their lives straight again. Emily Blunt is fantastic in this movie. She brings something a little different to it than Julie Andrews did, and you want that. You want to reinvent it a little bit. But this is an old-fashioned musical. There is tons of songs. There's lots of singing, lots of dancing, and for my money, it's the best of old and new Disney.
Oh,
I love this.
okay.
It's 4.5 out of 5 stars.
4.5 stars. Yeah. Okay, I guess a lot of people are going to be rushing to see that. Now, this is one that I'm really looking forward to because I love Jason Momoa. Game of Thrones, you know, Frontier. Aquaman.
Yeah. This is probably the silliest of all the superheroes, right? He talks to fish. In the cartoons, he had a jet ski that was powered by dolphins. There's all that kind of stuff that goes along with this character. For years, he was the brunt of jokes on the show Entourage. And this movie embraces that. This movie says, you know what? It is a little silly. So let's take the silly and then wedge that into a giant origin story. So you find out all about where Aquaman came from. He solves some, you know, terrible things that are going to happen to the surface world. Good deal of this movie happens underwater. And it's fun. Every frame of this movie is decorated with stuff to entertain your eyes. So your eyeballs will dance. It's quite funny by times, but it still has the action that superhero fans want. So I gave it 3.5 out of 5.
Okay, not bad. And you know what? Looking at the vids that we were looking at, they're really something beautiful to look at as well.
Yeah, it is. Every inch of this movie looks pretty fantastic.
Okay. And Bumblebee, wearing the yellow. Right?
You are in tribute to Bumblebee. You're wearing yellow. Bumblebee is the newest Transformers film, and it's a prequel, and it's also a different director. So if you haven't liked the last few Transformer movies, and I would be firmly in that camp, I think those movies are loud, they're bombastic. I can't tell who's fighting who in the big battle scenes, and those movies have become nothing but big battle scenes. This movie is a breath of fresh air. It was directed by a guy called Travis Knight, and he's an animator. As an animator, he worked on movies like the stop-motion movies Coraline, Box Trolls, Paranorman, great movies. Last year, he directed a stop-motion movie called Kubo and the Two Strings, which was really great. And so what he does as an animator is breathe life into inanimate objects. And so it makes him the perfect director to take this big hunk of metal, Bumblebee, a Transformer, an alien Transformer, and turn him into a character with a lot of humanity. Yeah, and it works.
And I'm just looking at the video here. You see that these cars are the throwback 80s cars. You got the old VW, a VW Beetle there. So something that's set in the 80s.
Yeah, 1987 to be precise. And Haley Stansfield is the teenager who befriends and becomes Bumblebee's protector, and vice versa. He looks after her a little bit too. But it's a really great story about a big hunk of metal that has a giant heart at the center of it. And in terms of portraying the young teen character, she is someone who has a mind of her own, and there are some moments here where it could have become a very typical kind of teen romance sort of thing, and it does a U-turn and goes someplace really interesting.
Ah,
so
perfect.
I like this. 3.5 out of 5 stars.
3.5, okay. Also seeing John Cena there as well. Vox Lux, what is this one about? Because I don't know anything about this.
Yeah, this is Natalie Portman. For about half the movie, anyway, it's Natalie Portman. This is an interesting movie about a young girl. She's in high school, just barely in high school, when there's a school shooting at her school. That's how the movie begins. And she writes a song about it that she sings at a big memorial. Someone videotapes it. It goes viral, and she becomes an enormous pop star. She becomes really famous singing this song. And at that half of the movie, she's played by an actor named Rafi Cassidy. Then cut to 17 years later, it's now Natalie Portman. She is a like Lady Gaga style pop star, but she hasn't had a hit in a while, so she is on the comeback trail. And it really is about the way that popular culture and pop music can be a catalyst and comment on events in real life.
Right.
It is about this woman who is extremely famous in the public, seems to know everything about her, but she's got a hidden side. Portman is fantastic in the last half of this movie. But for me, the two halves really felt like two different movies.
Right.
And frankly, I kind of wanted more of the first half and a little bit less of the second half. So 3.5 out of 5.
3.5 stars. Okay, a lot of 3.5s there, even a 4.5. Richard Crouse.
It's a big week at the movie.
It definitely is. Film critic Richard Crouse, thank you so much.
Thank you.